My name is Max Stannard, and I was diagnosed with ADHD at 30 years old.
And my name is Sophia Biedka, and I was diagnosed with ADHD at 25.
We've been noticing more and more people getting diagnosed as adults.
And that ADHD is a little misunderstood, and frankly kind of confusing, especially for people who recently found out that they have it.
We thought it'd be a good idea to meet up with people who have been recently diagnosed and are learning more about their ADHD.
And how to thrive now that they understand their brains a little bit better.
We went to Grateful Tattoo to talk to Noelle, who goes by Lonely Bandit Studio.
She found her path by pouring herself into her passion.
I booked a session with her so we could chat while doing what she loves.
I got diagnosed when I was 24, so that would have been 4 years ago. It was a total surprise. I knew I felt a little bit different from the rest of my family members, but it was never really something that was brought up because the knowledge that we had back then just wasn't available. The reason I figured it out was my mom started sending me like videos and articles and things, and she's like, "This sounds a lot like you." And all of it was like women with ADHD. And I was reading it, and it was the first time in a long time that I really felt validated. I was like, that does sound like me. Why has this not been brought up sooner? Like, I'd gone through an entire undergrad degree without knowing that this might be the way my brain works. The diagnostic framework for ADHD is based off of the behavioral patterns of little boys. I don't think the ADHD is actually named properly. It's not a hyperactive disorder specifically. I was always on the more inattentive side. You know, I had bursts of energy here and there, but for me, it's always been a focus disorder. I'm either going to focus forever or I'm going to focus not at all. And so that's why I think a lot of women get missed. Executive dysfunction was not a word I knew. For me, it was like, oh, when I get stressed, when I get anxious, when I have a lot to do, I go into this like paralyzed procrastination state. Just considering myself as like a lazy, unmotivated person when I know that that's not true. And, you know, when I read that word, and it described that exact scenario, I nearly cried because I was like, that's exactly what I've been feeling my whole life. A lot of the things that we experience as a person with ADHD, neurotypical brains experience these things on a way smaller scale. Sometimes we feel we are imposters when it comes to this kind of stuff because everyone kind of dips into these buckets a little bit. But the thing that I always try to explain to people is I'm like, I feel these on a clinical scale 100% of the time, every day of my life, to the point where it can be paralyzing. You know, art and creating are really wonderful ways that I can get my brain into a focus zone. And I was able to throw my energy into art. Through that journey, I found tattooing and I realized like, oh, I love this so much. And actually, maybe this might be a little bit more conducive to a full-time job. All I want to do is tattoo people and meet cool friends and draw cool stuff all day, every day. And I think being in a space, especially a collective of artists like this is, you know, we all get to run our own businesses, we all get to do our own stuff and be creative in our own way, but we also get to support each other and be here for each other and cheer each other on. I think that's kind of everything to me is community. Looking back at my life, the areas in which I thrived the most was the spaces where I had, you know, other people either relying on me or other people counting on my presence and me being there. Sometimes with the ADHD brain, even just having another presence in your space will be enough to get you motivated to do what you need to do. I think the number one thing that I found the most empowering when I first got diagnosed was putting language to things I've been feeling my whole life that had made me feel inadequate. When you have ADHD and you don't know and you're constantly seeing these pitfalls, you know, and personality flaws or things that have made you doubt yourself, give yourself a little moment to be like, I pushed through that in a system that wasn't maybe built for my brain. And then that can be your first step towards gaining the information that is going to help you find the path that feels best and the path that feels easiest and the path that feels most empowering, and then finding the people who are also going to feel that way and are also going to support you on those pathways. Also, just like give yourself grace. Exhale a little bit.